All right, we've done a lot of things. We've taken these fractions and multiplied them. We've taken them, divided them. We added them, we subtracted them. And then we got really hardcore and solved equations with them. And then yesterday, we even upped it even more and solved inequalities. Now we want to talk about the graphs. All right, and this should go pretty quickly, I hope. All right, talk about the graphs. So what I'd like you to do first is graph that first one in your calculator using your fraction template or parentheses. So go ahead and graph 4 over x plus 4 for me. 4 over x plus 4. Take a look at the graph. If anybody's having a problem with their graph, maybe last time you graphed, whenever it was, this year, last year, if you're having a problem and you don't get this graph that I have up here already, make sure, here you go, easy adjustment is just hit zoom, hit your zoom button on top, and then number 6 standard, and you should get the graph we're all looking at right now. All right. Everyone getting this graph, make sure you take a look at it right now. Domain, anybody remember what values are represented by the domain? Those are my x values. Okay, I'm going to make this real easy on you because we've been doing this forever, this unit. Look at what you just typed into your y equals screen. What can x not be? What one value, only one, what one value of x can it not be? -4. Everyone in agreement there. It can't be -4. So let's make this easy. The domain, I just call it capital D, is equal to, here we go again, x, such that what's the only value it can't be? So x, ready? X cannot equal -4. All right, and then look at your graph, everybody, or mine. I don't care. Look at somebody's graph. Does everybody see? Go to -4 on the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see any graph above it or below it? Yeah, me neither. Okay, I don't see any graph up here or any graph down here. That's for a reason, because it can't be -4. All right, range. Those are your what values? Y values, yep. Okay, we're going to have to help you get some help here using the graph for this. Can anybody tell me, look on your y-axis now, like what? Here's what I'm going to do. Right here, there's a point. Right here, there's a point. Right here, there's a point. There's a point. Can anybody tell me where on the y-axis there is no graph? Can anybody tell me where on the y-axis I can go and there's no corresponding point on those graphs? I can go to 0. Does everybody see at 0 right here? It's coming awfully, awfully, awfully close, but it's never going to touch. Okay, so 0. So we go back, the range, instead of x now I'll put y, such that y cannot equal what here? Cannot equal 0. Does everybody see why I'm picking -4 for my domain and 0 for my range? Ask it now. And the last thing, Y-intercept, what's that mean to you guys? What's that mean to you? Y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis. Sometimes that's tough, though, on a graph. Everybody agree? That's tough. Anybody know what number I can plug in for x to find the y-intercept really quick? Good job, 0. All right, so here you go. Make a little note to yourself. Plug in 0 for x. So everyone go ahead, plug in 0 for x, and let me know what you get in return. Plug in 0 for x into the original equation, and let me know what you end up getting. Oh, did you? I hope so, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So my y-intercept here is 1. Questions? Because we got a couple more there. You guys ever heard of these before? Did I put them on there? I don't think. Must have cut it off. All right. Okay. What's the first one? Vertical asymptote? You guys heard of that before? Asymptote? Okay, vertical line, up and down, right? Up and down, vertical line. If I gave you the pen right now, could you draw up here a vertical line that this graph comes very, very close to, but there's no value for? A vertical line anywhere. Oh, that's not going to work. Why? It crosses the graph. That's not going to work. Why? Crosses, crosses, crosses. Can you find anywhere where you could put a vertical line for me that would come very, very close but never touch the graph? Go ahead, stud. Let's go. Let's see what you got. Here we go. Draw it in for. I don't need anybody else to draw it in, but just so you can see what we're doing.
The precision's all that good, but like, didn't you say it will just get really close whenever you touch there?
Never touch, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I did draw right on top.
Okay, anyway. Does everyone see that it would go through -4? Okay, so my vertical asymptote here would be x equals what? Where'd it go through? -4. Anybody, we get that -4 answer anywhere before? Where else would you see that -4? Oh, I wonder if it's a coincidence. Wait to the next problem. Next one. What do you guys? Horizontal one, right? Horizontal asymptote. Okay, where can I draw a horizontal line where it would never touch the graph, but the graph would come pretty close to? I think we've had this discussion already. Where was it? Yeah? I had 0. All right, but I'm not going to just write 0 now. Remember, for vertical line, I wrote x equals -4. So for horizontal, I'll write y equals, in this case, 0. All right, y equals 0. I can't. I'm already having anxiety about this. There we go. There's my horizontal and vertical. All right. Questions? Okay. Can we do one almost on our own there? There's a new one to graph now. New one to graph. Go ahead and graph. Let's see if you can help me answer the questions a little quicker now. Domain should need the graph for. What x value can this not be? The domain should be, I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. Any x value, but not what? In this case, here you go, 4, but not what? One job, yep, let's roll, 13. But not 3, good, because that makes the fraction undefined. And you just look at 3. There's no graph there at 3, right? No graph. Ooh, what about range? Looks like all my y values are there, and it's there for 0 now, so don't tell me 0. All the y values are there except for anything at what? Here we go, 15. Anything but 3. Three would intersect. 2, yep, and I'm glad you had trouble with that, Anna, because I'll tell you why at the end. Glad you had a little trouble. I'm sure your classmates did as well. I got a little solution for you at the end. Y-intercept, what do I plug in for x? Okay, ready? 2 times 0 plus 1 over 0 minus 3. What is my y-intercept up here? Y-intercept for me, 1 when you're ready. Y-intercept. Easy. What's on the bottom? -1/3, yep. Nice job. Any questions so far? How we're finding these? Vertical asymptote. What's that associated with? Your domain. All right, so my vertical asymptote is x equals 3, that vertical line going down at x equals 3. And what about horizontal asymptote? What about, don't just give me 2. Y equals 2. Yep, matches the range. Got it. Okay. Here's where I got to get you to in the next about 15 minutes. Put your calculators, put the covers on, turn them off. No calculators allowed now. Can we still do this without calculators? Okay, without looking at the graphs. And the answer is you're darn right we can. The only thing that may be a little fishy, Anna, what'd you have trouble with? Might be the range, and I got a solution for you. Okay, so let's try to do this without graphing or using our calculator. Okay, don't look at what's above. Don't look at what's above. All right, we don't need that yet. I don't need you to find everything we just found. Just find the horizontal, vertical, and the Y-intercept algebraically. No graphing calculator. I'm going to start with the easy one, which is the vertical asymptote. All right, so I'm just going to call that V dot A now, vertical asymptote. Without using your calculator, where would that vertical line go through? Well, what's it associated with? The vertical asymptote's associated with your domain. So you tell me here, probably where would this line go through based on how that fraction's written right now? Everybody comment down. How about 9? 2. But make sure we write it correctly. Because if I write this, 2, it's not going to fly with me. It's a line. It starts out with what? X or Y? X. So I need X equals 2 for your vertical asymptote. Not 2. That's not going to cut it. X equals 2. Everyone all right? Why it's 2? What makes the fraction undefined? Okay, I'm going to go Y-intercept now. Y-intercept. You guys know how to find that algebraically. What do you plug in for X? 0. Go ahead. -4 over 0 minus 2. What's my Y-intercept when you're ready? 7. 2. Nice job. Y-intercept is 2. All right, I left the last one for last because it's the toughest one. And that is, what's the horizontal asymptote? Okay, horizontal asymptote. And that usually is associated with our range, which I can't find unless I'm looking at a graph. Until now, everyone ready for these 3 set of rules? Okay, to find the horizontal asymptote, take a look up top. Okay, there's only going to be at most 1. There could be none. The degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator. Stop right there. What do I mean by degree? Anybody? The degree of the numerator. Anybody know what I mean by that from last year? Here's what I mean. Oh, go ahead, Anna. I'll let you take the spotlight. Highest exponent is the degree. All right, whatever the highest exponent is, that's called the degree. All right, so let's take a look at our fraction right now. Is there any variable in the numerator? No, so we say the degree is 0. What's the highest exponent in the denominator? 1. Everyone see? X to the first, that's the highest exponent. So the degree in the numerator was 0. The degree in the denominator was 1. So it was less in the numerator. Everybody agree? So go through our options. Was the degree in the numerator greater? Yes or no? Was the degree in the numerator greater? Talk to me here if we're going too fast. No, it was not. Was the degree of the numerator less than the denominator? Is that what we had? We had 0 and 1, right? So if that is the case, all right, if that is the case, if the numerator's degree is less than the denominator, where's the horizontal asymptote? Y equals 0. Okay, so it's at Y equals 0. If it was greater in the numerator, we'd say there was no asymptote. And I'm going to get to option 3 in a second if they're the same. Okay, so ready? One last time. If the numerator's bigger, no asymptote. Denominator's bigger, y equals 0. And now what if they are equal, which we're going to get to right now, it looks like. Okay, before I get to the whole equal part, somebody tell me what my vertical asymptote should be here. What should be my vertical asymptote? And make sure, don't just tell me the number. 8, tell me the full equation. Not here, nice. Stealing my fire. 15. How'd you get 1? X equals 1. Nice, I like we're talking math too. Undefined, beautiful. All right, let's go Y-intercept now. Y-intercept, everybody. Seven when you're ready. 2. 2 or -2? -2, good. And then finally, how about the horizontal asymptote? No, comment down. 13, ready? 13? Who's got 13? Okay, hold on. I'm not going to ask you what the answer is. What is the degree in the numerator? 1. What about in the denominator? Okay, so they match. Everyone in agreement, they match. So if they are the same, here's what we do. To find the horizontal asymptote, I take the leading coefficient in the numerator, which is the first number we see, and divide it by the leading coefficient in the denominator, the first number we see. So Haley, going back to you, what's the leading coefficient up top? 4, so it's going to be 4 divided by, what's the leading coefficient on the bottom? 1. So my horizontal asymptote is a little bit more than 4 because I got to attach the variable to it. I need to make it an equation. 4 is not going to cut it. Y equals 4. Nice job. Okay, Y equals 4. So if the degrees match, you and your group right now, go ahead. You and your group. Next one. Horizontal, vertical asymptote, and the Y-intercept, please. The Y-intercept. Vertical asymptote. 2, vertical asymptote. I'll give you half credit for that. Isn't this where the denominator is equal to 0, correct? How quickly we forget. Anybody want to do anything to x squared minus 1? X plus 1 and x minus 1, right? So are there one asymptote? No. There's a second one. Where is it? X equals -1. Yep, it's wherever it makes it undefined. Wherever it makes it undefined. Set it equal to 0 and try to factor. Okay, what about your Y-intercept now? Y-intercept. 9, y-intercept. Y equals 2. Where do we get that? Okay, what do you got to find the y-intercept? What do you? I'm sorry, you might be right. Is he? Okay, everybody, calm down. I was thinking something else. Nice job there, Andrew. And that's what I have right here on my paper. Y-intercept equals 2. Yep, got me. Got me. Horizontal asymptote. Don't tell me the answer. 14, don't tell me the answer. Where's the degree bigger? Numerator or denominator? Okay, so if it's bigger in the numerator, that means there is none. No horizontal asymptote here. All right, none. Nice job. Other questions or comments or any concerns? Okay, last one I'm going to do for you. Of course, we can't just stay standard. We got to challenge you every once in a while. What's different about this fraction versus the other ones? I'm adding or subtracting something onto it, and that will affect it. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do it. I just did it right here. All right. What I did is I graphed it without the -8. So I did 3 over x minus 7, and that is my red graph right here. Okay, 3 over x minus 7 is my red one. Then I did the -8. You guys remember from last year what that the effect that -8 on the outside has? It pulls it down. Down how many units? 8. So you could see by the blue, right? This first graph here, 3 over x minus 7 went down 8. So that's going to affect a couple of these right now. Right? It's going to affect it. Let's start with the domain. Domain are your x values, right? Right, ready? What would you tell me right there my domain is? 7, right? Or can equal 7, right? Can equal 7. Well, if I just shift it down 8, is that going to affect anything vertically? Everyone agree it's not going to affect it vertically. So it's still going to be x such that x cannot equal 7. That's not going to affect it. Oh, we got a little change up here for you. Range. Ready for the range? What was the degree in the numerator? Nothing, 0. What was it in the denominator? So where are we here as far as when the numerator is less than the denominator? Usually at 0, right? It's usually at 0, everyone agree? But what did you do to the graph? This was at 0, true. But what did I just do? I shifted it down 8, so it's not 0 anymore if I shifted it down 8. Where is it? -8, got it. So y such that y cannot equal -8. Are we okay? Why -8 and not 0 anymore? Because I shifted it down 8. Okay, you guys right now, let's finish this off strong. Find me the y-intercept of the entire graph there. Find the y-intercept. It's going to be a little fraction. Okay, use your calculator, please. I don't want decimal answers. Leave it as a fraction for me in your calculator. Make sure that -8 doesn't go in the template. As a fraction, what are you leaving it as? 11, what are you leaving it as? That's all I need. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, let's finish this now. Now that you have these three, what's my vertical asymptote? Vertical asymptote. Don't give me a number either. Do not just give me a number. 3, vertical asymptote. Vertical.
Vertical?
Yep.
So it's not the other. Is it x is not equal 7?
Well, no. That was the domain. Your vertical asymptote is x equals 7 because it's a line that goes through 7, remember. Okay? And what about horizontal now? Let's finish this off strong. Horizontal asymptote. 14. Oh, I don't want a number. Attach a y equals. It was 0, but then I moved it down 8. So y equals -8. I want the calculators put back, turned off, put back up here, please. It's not a butler service around here. On my desk.